Good day, my leaders, and welcome to the Early Childhood Education Directors Network. I'm Miss Regina, and welcome back. I'm hoping you are enjoying the classroom and getting to know about me, about the school, about the products and services that we may offer, and hopefully you've experienced some of the all about the point ones. And that's what brings us here today. What is this all about the point one? Well, it is a phrase that I have coined because I got so tired of myself included, working hard and trying to do things around the program every single day. And I said, I need to focus. I need to know what it is that I am here to do. I have assistants, I have teachers. The teachers are in the classroom. Of course, I'm doing all of my administrative things, of course, but what is it that I can do to make sure that children are safe? And what brought this into fruition was that I was working in a inner city school. I mean, you name it, we were tackling all of those types of issues. Oh, you want me to name a few? I will. Okay, poop on our playground, condoms and needles in our parking lot, our muffler stolen off of our bus, homeless people sleeping in our bus. Um, is that enough? Like real problems that could turn into crises immediately. People walking down the street and stopping and staring and watching our children for long periods of time. You know, all kinds of outside things that was causing that could cause crises within our program. So I said, you know what, I have to handle these things. I can't let people just walk through our playground. I can't let them throw their cigarette butts in our playground, standing around. I can't let them hang out here. So then Reggie Lou was born. She is, I'm all smiley and everything, but she's just like, let me tell you something. I don't care where you go, but you better leave here. This is your last day. I don't care, and of course I had to go through a few transitions, car scratched, dirty notes, supervision, couldn't stay late, all of those types of things, but it was worth it. Our community grew and we did amazing work once we start handling all of the issues that could come in our program, and that can be challenging and hard for new leaders and for us seasoned leaders. The things that come out of our mouth and things that we say, everything we say always gets turned around and comes back to us as a negative or some form of problem that can turn into a crisis in our program. Anything you say to parents, anything you say to teachers, anything you say to children. I've been on the platform in regards to, sarcasm with children, just playing with the children, not meaning any harm, saying things, and parents writing huge vlogs about children not understanding satire and all of these other things. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. And that taught me, years and years of doing it wrong. It taught me that whatever comes out of my mouth has to stand up in a court of law. So, how do we do that? How do we speak for the point? It's all about the point one. How do we behave that it's all about the point one? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to share my screen with you, and you actually have the chart there, so no worries about that. So this is our cheat sheet. And on this cheat sheet, we have to know that I have no idea how I came up. All these things happened organically, of course. So we call it staying on the right. And who's we? Anyone's taken my class, we know that 99.9% of the time it's going to be lovely, but it's all about the point one. And anything that comes out of our mouth has to come from a legal source. And it takes practice. Trust me, it's challenging in the beginning, but once you get the hang of it, it will become, you know, piece of cake. You will be able to speak this way. So, and we'll play in a few minutes. So let's look at the chart. So anything that's left communication, it's personal. If you say things from your intuition, this is my passion, this is my ministry, this is my calling, this is my purpose, I am not telling you not to think those things. 100% I want you to think those things. And I want you to talk about those things to me. I want you to talk about those things to your colleagues. I want you to talk about those things to people you are in relationship with. But do not say those things to teachers, parents, and children, people in your community. That's the left. Anything that's on the left is what you stand on for your confidence and for your courage. Your experience. I've been in this industry, I've been in this business for 40 years. I could walk around, I've been in this business for 33 years, 34 years. Oh my goodness. Yes, don't let this face fool you, because we've been here a long time. So we've been around a long time. We have the experience. I love it when my leaders have experience and they know that they know that they know. No one can shake them. They're confident about it, but that's for us. That's what we're going to talk about. You're going to brag to me. You're going to talk to me. You're going to talk to our community. You're going to be like, I think I'm going to have that. And I'm like, tell me how many years you've been experienced. If you've only been in the industry as a leader for 1 minute, you are still in the advanced category. Trust me, because you've done a lot of things to become that leader. So that's your experience. And when you talk about love, I love kids. I love children. I love my parents. I love, if these were my own children, I treat the children like my own children. No, that is not acceptable for leaders to say. Because truthfully, I need you to love the children. I need for you to treat them as your own children. But when that comes from, that's subjective. I don't know what your love is. I don't know what love means to you. I don't need for you to say that. I need for you to feel that. And I need for you to stand on that. And then your education, I can come in, I have the degrees as well, the masters, the bachelors, the masters. I'm working on my doctorate. I'm all about dissertation, all but dissertation right now. So please keep me in your prayers. So think about that. Your education, that's for me. I'm not walking around talking about it. I know, I'm confident that this is what I went to school for. It doesn't matter if you have a CDA, if you have high school, you have CDA, you have TCC, you have associates, you have a bachelor's, you have masters, you have a doctorate, you have 2 masters, you have 2 doctors. I don't care. That is for you. That's your confidence. That is for your learning and for the purpose that you've come into this business. Like, I have people asking me all the time. I've been in early child care for my entire career. Why did you get a master's degree in HR? Because the programs that I work with, they need me to know human resources, because they are single owners and they may have come from the trajectory of being a teacher, and that whole HR piece, that's what I'm here to help you with. That's the whole problem that I've come to solve. And I love it. I love onboard. I love talking about compensation. I love going in there and training. I love snatching people out of classroom. And we don't call, we'll get into that. You have to take my training. Teachers are not employees. But I'll give you a snippet. I don't call teachers employees. We call people employees. And when people come into our industry, and that's what I gotta call them. I have amazing teachers. I love teachers. And I've gone into some classroom with teachers and I'm like, oh, I just want to stay in your class all day. And I've said that to some teachers, so you know who you are. But those people who come into our industry and put their hands on children and act like they I don't know what they're acting like. I don't even want to say, but that's my job to snatch on them. So think about your education, how you want your education to be. So that stuff is the left. It's the left. And I will tell you instantly, I'm like, you're speaking from the left. Anytime you start with I, you see I. Nope, nope, nope. So now let's see how we're supposed to talk. Let's look at the right. So when we are communicating from the right, it's legal communication. Everything that comes out of your mouth should comes from your organizational policy, the rules and regulations of your state, or from your regulatory agency, your quality rated, your best practices, your NACI guidelines, your guiding principles for your conduct, and the state, your state laws, your federal laws. So how do we do that, Ms. Regina? What are you talking about? If a parent asks, we do it naturally, but we don't know that that I want us to be intentional about it. What do you mean we do it naturally? Well, if a parent asks you, what should I do? Can he come back to school? Where our policy is that, the child can return once they're fever free for 24 hours. And the parents, I've had parents be like, well, it's 5:45 here, and I'm bringing him back to school tomorrow at 5:45, Mr. Gina. I'm like, okay. Go, slow your roll. But, think you have to know these things to speak from it. That's the challenge. So you have to look at your policy and procedure, and that's where I help my leaders too. So we will go over your policies and procedures. If you take in my class, I will spend the whole day talking about policies and procedures, and we're going to go over each and every one of them. and we teach how to do that, and teach leaders how to do that, and how to go over those with their employees as well. And then the rules and regulation. Who's your regulatory agency? What are the rules? Our regulatory agency has blessed us with an indicator guide. It's huge. It's like 340 something pages. It's huge, but it is a beast. But I love that document because it gives us the core rule, if it's a core rule, if it's not a core rule, and then it gives us indicators for successfully implementing these rules. So when we open our mouth to speak, we have the backing of the implementation of how the rule is supposed to be implemented and what it's supposed to look like. When we're talking about rules and regulations, if a teacher is let's do something easy. We won't get into it. Not turning in her lesson plan. It's not personal. The lesson plan is not personal. According to our state regulatory agency, we must have our lesson plans posted. This is not something we're talking about. It's not negotiable. Well, do you want to put your lesson plan up? It's not a question. When you took the job, one of the requirements was that a lesson plan has to be posted. Whenever your program says the lesson plans have to be posted, the state wants to see that. They want to see, your occupancy. They want to see your business license. They want your bulletin board to have all of the credentials that it needs for operating a business. Why are we doing a fire drill? It's not personal. It's not because I want to do a fire drill. It's the law for our industry. We need to do fire drills as often as we can so that if anything happens, remember, it's all about the point one. You never know if there's going to be a fire or an emergency, so you have to evacuate. And if you haven't practiced enough, then you're not going to get out quick enough because you have to practice this. And then quality rated. What's best practices? What's best practices for your state? We have to think about one practice, and I'm not gonna go into each practice, but I keep thinking about this is it's not a problem. But what happens is it turns into a problem if there's a crisis, if there's a fire. What are you talking about, Ms. Regina? When teachers who pick up toddlers, not the infants, toddlers who are supposed to be walking feet on the floor, 12 months, when we pick them up all the time, they are used to us picking them up. If we if they are able to walk, they have to walk as much as possible. We do pick them up, and we have to train ourselves. Squat down, give them a hug. This is what comes out of the leader's mouth. If the leader sees the teacher taking a 2-year-old from a parent's arms into their arms, the leader comes behind the teacher and says, "Oh, isn't it wonderful that he's able to walk? Let's help him walk to the classroom." You hear the rule? The rule is coming out. I didn't say, according to Quality Rated, the children have to be able to walk. If they are walking, they have to walk to the class. Nothing like that. We can do it with a gentle voice and a gentle reminder, so that if these practices can continue and the teacher understands them, then in an emergency, the children aren't looking for us to pick them up. Just a sidebar for me there. And then we have our NAEYC principles, our code of conduct, our ethical behavior with the children, our ethical behavior with our colleagues, our ethical behavior with our families, and our ethical behavior with our community. But administrators, we have a different code. We have our code for administrators, because above all of everyone else, we have parents, governing agency boards, all of these people. We do not harm children, and our responsibility is for the professional development of the staff and volunteers that are in our program. So think about that: children first, teachers, and community. So when we speak to a teacher and we're talking about their conduct, we bring out those values, the 7 values that are in the code of conduct. So that's some homework for you. If you don't know what those are, look that up. And then your state laws. How do we hire? What's permissible? Are we allowed to take things from employees' checks? Are we allowed to, do this or that? What does it look like when an employee is terminated? What documents do we need to have? And so if we know all of those things, then we can speak from those things. Well, according to the state of Georgia, if a teacher is saying that she would like to terminate her employment, according to the state of Georgia, this is an at-will state, and you are free to leave. And that's all we can say. Don't add your own drama. Don't add your own ideas. You call me and we talk that through. Like, can you believe? I was like, I understand. Let's do it. Let's get in front of people. We're not talking about our teachers and our educators. We're talking about people who come into our industry with agendas, and we know who they are. I'm sure all of us, even if you've been a director for one day, we've all experienced that. So this is the chart that you can print up and hang on your wall to remind yourself it's all about the point 1, and my language has to be legal. It has to stand up in a court of law, and it has to come from our organizational policies. It has to come from our rules and regulations. It has to come from our best practices for our state is quality rated. And we have to know our guiding principles, our NAEYC code of ethical conduct, our state laws, and our federal laws for our hiring and everything like that. So do yourself a favor, understand this short little all about the point 1, learn it. We can practice it together and use it. Put in the chat that you've used whenever you're using the all about the point 1 strategy. I look forward to seeing you in the classroom. Bye.